Isaiah 8, verse 22 says, "Then they will look to the earth and see trouble and darkness, gloom of anguish, and they will be driven into darkness." This verse is part of a prophetic warning from Isaiah. It speaks to the consequences of turning away from God and relying on human wisdom or worldly solutions. The imagery of trouble and darkness and gloom of anguish, this paints a picture of despair and hopelessness. It describes the state of those who, in the midst of their trials, find themselves in darkness when they look to the earth or human strength or worldly power or to false gods for deliverance. The context of this verse reveals a time when the people of Judah were facing external threats, and instead of trusting in God, they sought answers elsewhere. They consulted mediums, spirits, and relied on alliances with foreign powers. This disobedience led them further away from the truth. In this verse, Isaiah, he warns that those who reject God's light and seek their own path will only find themselves overwhelmed by anguish and driven into deeper spiritual darkness. This message resonates with believers today as a reminder that true peace and guidance cannot be found in the world or in its systems. When people turn to the world for solutions to spiritual problems, they eventually will encounter disappointment and despair. Only God's light can dispel the darkness of sin, fear, and confusion. Without Him, we're left in a state of spiritual blindness, lost in our own efforts. Isaiah's words are a call to trust in God alone, no matter how challenging the circumstances. When we're faced with darkness, whether it's in the form of spiritual trials, societal pressures, or global unrest, our response should be to seek God's wisdom and guidance. Looking to the world for hope will only lead us to further despair. But in Christ, we find the light that overcomes the darkness and the hope that dispels anguish and the peace that surpasses understanding.